Whoa, 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 whoa.
I did not expect that.
No, I can't use it. Do I have to buy another iPad?
We thought Apple would never do it, but Final Cut Pro is finally coming to the iPad. They've just dropped a video and a web page detailing all of the included features, so let's have a look at what they've got in store for us.
Oh, wow.
Oh, whoa, that's Brother, what the hell? Brother are two of my favorite music video directors of all time. They're absolutely incredible. All of their music videos, check them out if you haven't. But it's cool because they were using Final Cut Pro 7 for years and years and years for their early music videos. And what they could do with Final Cut 7 was ridiculous. Like the effects and the editing in their music video is leagues above everybody else. So I'm glad Apple realized these guys should be the ones to try out the iPad version. Okay, so this is our first look at, so it looks really clean, and it's interesting how the project browser is on the right side versus in the desktop it's on the left side. That's an interesting change, but not a lot we can tell from this immediate little frame. Okay, so we've got project media. I mean, it's weird because it looks like Final Cut, but it looks nicer. It almost looks like they've redesigned a lot of icons and the layout. I hope this is a good sign for the fact that they're gonna apply this redesign to the desktop version, because I'd be completely happy with that, because it just looks really clean and nice, honestly. I genuinely thought that Apple had given up on Final Cut Pro, so the fact that they're actually moving it to iPad now is incredible. DaVinci Resolve is already on iPad, and I just thought they were just going to let DaVinci run wild and do their thing, but apparently not. Like, there's been a lot of thought and time put into this, so what an incredible time to be a filmmaker.
What I was able to do is isolate the subject, which is the falling pineapples, and added colorful backgrounds. And then I just drew...
Wait, how did you isolate it? Explain.
Falling pineapples, and added color...
Yeah, it says scene removal mask. Object detects in the foreground and separates them. Use a video with a static background. Capture a few frames of the background. So it's some sort of like AI key. Probably not going to be as good as magic masking. I mean, it kind of isn't. It's more of a key than a rotoscope, as you can see by the fact that it has very specific requirements of how it can or won't work. So, I mean, still cool that it has it. But yeah, give us a rotoscope tool, Final Cut, please. That would be very useful, so I don't have to hop to DaVinci all the bloody time to do it.
And then I just drew
A couple of words. It's really cool because
That's really cool.
Animates.
so I didn't have to put in hours of work to do.
I can't draw. I'm really terrible at drawing, but I imagine if you want to do like the hand-drawn music video effects, you could just do it all in the iPad version. It'd probably be a lot quicker, I would hope. So that's a cool feature. Gives you a good reason to kind of integrate the Apple Pencil and hop over to Final Cut Pro to do those very specific editing, hand-drawn effects.
You can film it straight into the project. Shoots ProRes.
My boys, brother. These guys are super lovely. They deserve all the accolades that they've got. I was DMing with them a few months ago. They're awesome. Watch their music videos again. I highly recommend them. You'll be blown away.
The project shoots ProRes, so. Let's do that air that goes like this to static to text. We have this.
Do your crazy spin it. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, so scene removal in action, right? So they're doing the thing with it where the background, as it said in that little kind of information part at the side of the other shot, they're using a static background to do this. And yeah, the skateboarder is, doing a skateboarding thing, but the background of the skateball is static. I mean, the key does look really good, but I don't think it would work if you were tracking someone and the background is moving and you want a key. I guess at that point you want to kick into rotoscoping with with After Effects or DaVinci's Magic Mask.
Like this bad boy.
Yeah, try that out. Wow.
It's a great key.
Yeah, that's crazy. And jog back and forth.
This would save a lot of time.
Ooh, that's cool.
I mean, it's all there. It's Final Cut. You can see like the waveforms are clean and crisp. One of the things I've always loved about Final Cut, and everything else is there. It looks good. I'm impressed so far.
Cool.
And then the crazy brother editing, as you would expect.
Are gonna be gassed.
If someone gets nasty with this, they can become really good.
We'll go back. I know the new iPads that you can hover the Apple Pencil over and it can still read that, there's some sort of, that you've got the iPad above the Pixel. So I guess that's another feature that it looks like they have here, where you can just move the skimmer along the timeline really quickly without, putting it. It would probably be awkward if you just had the pencil over and you were just scrubbing through that way. That's kind of cool. And then we've got live drawing and then the layers, and it looks nice.
Become really good.
So that's the video, and I know that Apple have made a whole web page detailing the features in a lot more detail, so let's check that out because I want to really delve into this. You know, Apple's beautifully designed websites, as you would expect. This is kind of intriguing. What is this, a zoom function? Or maybe you can scrub through the footage that way. So you're holding the iPad like this, and if you want to kind of fast forward and rewind your timeline, it's like a wheel that you can lift your thumb up, because then you can hold it with two hands and kind of go through and preview your footage versus one hand and then using your finger or an Apple Pencil. So I guess this is a way for you to still use the software even if you don't have an Apple Pencil. Create vlogs, a complete pro video solution at your fingertips. It's not, oh, wait, get 1 month free, then pay $5 a month or, oh, $49 annually. I don't know how I feel about that. That's, I wasn't expecting that. A subscription? I mean, what, Final Cut Pro is, what is it, $300 now? So you would need to use the Final Cut Pro iPad version for 6 years until you hit the one-time payment for the desktop version, which is, I guess that's reasonable. It would be kind of strange if they said, you know, $200. Unless you're on the road all the time. I can't see a use case, or at least for me, a lot of other filmmakers, where you would only edit on the iPad. Like, that's all you would edit, and you won't have a laptop at all to use the desktop version of Final Cut Pro. So it does make sense, because I guess if you're on the road, you can just pay the monthly subscription while you're using it, and then you can just stop it whenever you're at home a lot and you're working specifically on the desktop version. $5 a month is really reasonable, in my opinion, for what it seems like they have. Whole new creative interface for creators. Edit video projects with immediacy and speed using your fingertips or Apple Pencil on a touch-based interface. Yeah, I'm very curious how good this software is when you're not using the Apple Pencil. It seems like they are, because the first picture that you see is a guy not using the Apple Pencil, which is a good sign, because it does suggest that they have thought of people who like using the Apple Pencil, people who don't, because maybe it's kind of clunky if you always have to have the Apple Pencil, because then you have to hold your iPad in one hand. iPads are light, but they're not, you know, they're not like a bloody SD card weight. So holding it with one hand and then doing that is going to get tiring unless you have big guns like mine. Editing surface. Make frame accurate edits with just your finger. Use lightning fast jog wheel and scrub through your footage, or trim and nudge clips. Oh, very cool. Whoa, 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 whoa. I did not expect that. They selected a clip and then they moved the clip with the jog wheel. So it looks like you can nudge clips with the jog wheel and you can navigate around the timeline with the jog wheel. That's cool. I like that. And obviously the magnetism means that even if you bumped it a little bit too far, it would still, the timeline lanes would just snap up and snap down. I like that a lot. I'm gonna test it. I'll test it properly, I promise. But that's a very innovative feature for sure. Live drawing, yeah, we already know that. Like cool illustration stuff. I can't draw to save my life. Probably won't be doing it, but it's cool that it's even a possibility. HDR. Oh yeah, because the iPad's a liquid retina. Very cool. Oh, so this is our like first proper look at it. I don't know what this symbol is. I'm not really sure what that is. Maybe storyline, to apply it to a storyline. You've got all the effects here. I guess when you press inspect, this window will change to the inspection tool, because obviously the iPad is not big enough to have the inspection window on the right and then the project media window on the left. So I presume that's how they're dealing with that. Same with keyframes. Maybe they have a whole separate keyframe window for animations in the iPad version. It looks clean. You can clearly see the waveforms. You know, see a little preview icon of what's there. I'm impressed by it. Very clean. It seems like the DaVinci Resolve iPad app is very much a copy paste of the desktop version, but the iPad Final Cut Pro app feels different. Like it looks different. It still feels like a Apple Final Cut Pro product, but it's definitely a lot different from my perspective from the Final Cut Pro desktop aesthetic. Layouts, icons, organization. If I didn't know that there was a Resolve version for iPad, I would think that somebody just did a Photoshop job and put the desktop version on an iPad and said, look, it's on iPad. I'm like, no, it's not. That's the desktop version of Resolve. Big liar. That's a good video idea. Let's compare the iPad versions of each software. Okay, so we got iMovie import. iMovie is on Apple devices, iPhone and iPad, so it's a good way to keep people in the ecosystem so they've not lost all of their iMovie projects. I don't know anybody who edits regularly on iMovie on an iPhone or an iPad. Let me know in the comments if that's you. I don't know anyone. I guess there are people out there. You can use the Apple Pencil, Smart Folio keyboard. That's cool. I'd be curious to use it like a laptop and see how different it is and how close it is to desktop Final Cut Pro. Find your best angles with multicam editing. Wow, okay. So you can It has a whole multicam suite. Easily combine all sync media from a single shoot, then tap to choose your best footage. Very cool. So it's got all this auto syncing feature. Multicam looks nice. Super impressive. I didn't expect it to have basically all the features. Yeah, you can sync up all the angles. Switch. That's how they deal with the multicam angles. Like, I guess these live play, I hope they live preview as you're editing, because that would be pretty efficient. Angle editor. Yeah, it's super clever. They've made a whole new interface and workflow specifically for the iPad. They've thought a lot about this. I'm positive that it's going to be good. Speed through workflows with fast cut animation. Accelerate time consuming editing tasks by using fast cut features that leverage the power of Apple Silicon and machine learning for social media, like auto cropping and tracking elements to reframe. Yeah, and this is the mask. I think we know the limitations of this already, but it seems, again, background has to be still, which is, it's better than, for like, it's cool because I could use it for something like this. This chair would probably not get cut off probably, but I could, it would be quite easy to do a rotoscope for a sit down YouTube video, for example. So I guess I could use it for my YouTube videos. I just hope that if it's in a situation like this where you've got a chair, it can somehow be clever enough to see the outline of my body, maybe. Auto crop. Yeah, again, auto intelligent features, very cool. Specular tiles. Yeah, so like the tiles are all right. Like, a lot of motion VFX stuff that I use for my edits is a lot better. Bloody expensive though. But they're worth it, in my opinion. They are expensive, but they're worth it. Polish your projects with, so you've got custom tiles, dynamic titles, custom theme titles, lower thirds, and bumpers to enhance your project. Okay, so there's a lot of built-in stuff, all the built-in effects for grading. Objects. What is that? That's interesting. That's new. Maybe they have included 3D objects, music. I know I've said this probably 10 times in this video, but this is all really nice. Bring it to the desktop version, because the workflow I think is silly with the sound of, well, if you want to have sound effects or whatever, you have to go within the application and open package contents and do all this silly stuff. Just do this and make it really easy for people to add in their own bank of music and, regular elements that they use over each project. Because this looks nice. Put it on the desktop version. Backgrounds, yeah, I mean, you can get stuff like that on Motion Array. And third-party content, I guess Motion VFX will be allowing you to use effects via the iPad version of the app, which is cool. Find your creative vision as you shoot using Pro camera mode to take full advantage of Apple Pro. What does that mean? Okay. Is he filming within the iPad app? Wait, does this mean that there's a new camera tool for the iPad that's specifically within Final Cut Pro? It is. There's a camera icon there for recording. So you can record directly within Final Cut Pro, use the iPad's cameras, and then it automatically imports it into the project. Interesting. And then I guess you get some extra controls, like, ability to do manual focusing and stuff like that. What is the advantage to doing this versus just using the camera app and then importing the footage? I guess a little bit more streamlined, I presume, but cool feature. Advanced features for pro workflows. Yeah, ProRes RAW, amazing that you can, because you can shoot with ProRes RAW on the latest iPads. Color, ooh, I'm suspicious that they haven't showed us what the actual color grading window looks like. They've just showed us scopes. Maybe it's not ready yet, and they're like, it doesn't look that good now, and we got feedback that's not good, so we're just gonna show you it when it releases. Keyframing, yeah, and the waveforms are just so nice in Final Cut Pro. I love them so much. So you can, export in center Mac. Oh, okay, this is interesting. Export a project to Final Cut Pro for Mac to access features like, wow, okay. This is what I'm excited about, that you could start an edit on your iPad and then bounce it to Final Cut Pro to finish it. How seamless this integration is still to be determined. I mean, if it is just airdrop the file to your computer and then it boots up and loads up, cool. But then I guess you still need the footage on both devices. But with Final Cut Pro, you can save the footage to the actual library file, the project file for Final Cut Pro. So that could be a workaround. This is good news though. It's good that you can use both together and bounce back and forth, because this is where I can see it actually being useful for me, where, I could be traveling and then I'm in a situation where I just want to pull it out and whip out and edit really quick on the iPad. And then as soon as I'm on my laptop and I can, sit down, then I can just bounce it to my MacBook Pro and continue as normal. Oh no. No, I can't use it. I have an 11-inch iPad Pro 1st gen and it only uses 3rd and 4th gen. Do I have to buy another iPad? Oh my God. Well, that's annoying because I know that DaVinci Resolve works on my iPad and I believe it didn't before. It only works on the later gens and then people complained and then they managed to adapt it for the early gens. Well, I guess I'm just gonna have to rent one when I actually try out in person, and then maybe at that point then I buy a new iPad, but we'll see. Interesting times, right? I just can't even imagine knowing that you can carry around something as small as an iPad and to have the power that you can with a software as good as Final Cut Pro. And it's interesting that Apple and Resolve are doing this now because I just guess they understand that. There's an audience who want to just travel light and not carry around a heavy laptop. Laptops are really lightweight now. And there is a market for this clearly for content creators, for YouTubers, for people on the go. I still don't know a use, because I use my iPad for piano practice, language practice, but I always want to bring my laptop with me because there's no nicer experience than sitting with a laptop editing with a proper keyboard, proper trackpad. So I'm still not convinced as to why I would have an iPad and a laptop and be like, which one should I take with me to a coffee shop? And I would take the iPad and I would not feel like the iPad is restricting me or is not as enjoyable or efficient to use as a laptop. It doesn't make sense to me so far. I'm not convinced how I would be in a position to use an iPad over a laptop simply because it's smaller and lighter. Like if I'm in a coffee shop sat down, I don't really care. It's in my backpack and I'm not trekking up a mountain to go to a coffee shop, so the weight isn't a big deal. Maybe this will finally change my mind. A proper pro app like Final Cut Pro on an iPad, super portable. Is this the killer app that makes me use my iPad for more than just trying to learn Porter Robinson songs on a piano? We'll see, I don't know. But yeah, what an amazing time to be a filmmaker. I'm definitely gonna check this out as soon as it gets released, even though I'm gonna have to bloody rent an iPad that's not the current one that I have. It is what it is. Apple, you want me to buy your M1, M2 chip? I need to be convinced by that. And if I'm convinced, Tim Cook, you can get my hard-earned cash. If you're only just getting into editing, or if you're a Premiere person who's, been dabbling to move over to DaVinci Resolve, or maybe even Final Cut Pro, I'd highly recommend that you check out this video on my channel where I made the massive leap from Premiere to Final Cut Pro, and you'll see my trials and tribulations as I tried to figure out how the hell to even use the software. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already, because if you do, Tim Cook is gonna love you forever. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.